Hi, my name is Earl Varn. I'm a Florida Master Gardener, and I work with the University of Florida Extension Office, and here locally in Sarasota, that's out on Clark Road. What we're going to talk about today is irrigation basics. We're going to talk about maintenance, and we're going to try to show homeowners what they can do at home to help with their irrigation. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is that we're going to talk about cleaning out your filter of your sprinkler head. When we do irrigation evaluation, it is the most common problem that we run into. And we're going to show you in a few minutes a clogged sprinkler head and what it looks like. But the tools that you're going to need are very simple. These are pliers. These are sprinkler pliers. You can get these at a hardware store or any of the box stores. They're very inexpensive. These work to pull up the riser and then lock the riser in place. I'm going to demonstrate that here. What you do with these pliers is they go in the very top of the riser. You pinch them together, in other words, you pinch them together like that, and it lifts up. You pull up the riser. Then you take the pliers, snap them right on top. That way you can freehand work with the sprinkler. So what you have to do is you just simply unscrew the top and you pull out the filter. Another problem that we run into is people sometimes will take these out and throw them away. You should not ever do that. And the reason being is when people do that, then their spray head gets clogged up. When these get clogged up, they're much, much harder to clean and to take care of than they are to take care of this. What I recommend that you do, and that you don't have to, is order from your sprinkler company replacement filters, because it makes it so much easier and quicker to go ahead and pull every one of these when you're going through and then wash them all later. But if you have new ones that you can put in place, then that'll help you out and speed you up. The other thing that sometimes I have to use is a small pair of pliers. Not very often, but once in a while, these spray heads will be stuck in place, and so you just need a pair of pliers sometimes just to loosen them. Okay, what I want to show you here is these are both clogged. There's a clogged sprinkler head here, and there's also one that's not quite clogged, but it's almost clogged. In addition, these sprinklers out here, and this is another common problem we run into, is they're too low. So they're not above the grass, and they're not spraying properly because they're hitting the grass. But this one, in fact, if you can even see it, is completely clogged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to pull this filter out, and I'm going to show you how clogged this filter is. Okay, so what I'm going to demonstrate here is this spray head is all the way down in here, and in fact, it's very difficult to even see. So it's buried in the water. I'm going to stick my pliers down in there. I'm going to pull up. By doing what I showed you earlier, I'm going to open up the pliers, squeeze them together, and I'm going to lock them in place. Now what that's done is that holds the riser up above the ground. It's really important. You don't want that riser to go back in there after you take the spray head off, because it's very, very difficult then to pull the riser out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew this, and we're going to look at this filter. Okay, if you can see that filter, you can imagine that there is no water coming out of that. And again, as I said earlier, this is the most common problem that we run into when we do our irrigation evaluations. So what I'm going to do is I am going to replace this filter with one of the new ones that I showed you earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go get that. Okay, I've got another filter now, and I just want to reiterate a point that's important, is that you make sure you keep the filter in here. Some people don't put the filters in there and these get clogged up. I would also recommend that if you have a clogged filter like I just had here, that you go ahead and clean this out as well. You can put it under water, and then you can use a toothbrush or anything. Some people even put it in their mouth and blow on it. I don't recommend you doing that. But anyway, so what you're going to do is just put the filter back in. What's also important is there's a lot of lines on these spray heads. That indicates direction. This is 180 degrees spray head. So what I want to do is I want to put it back down, and I want to make sure it's pointing that way. If it's not, then I can make some minor adjustments. And the way you do the minor adjustments is you just either one of two ways. You can turn the riser itself, and also you can actually turn the sprinkler a little bit. Okay, so I've got that pointing in the right direction now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do the same thing to this one over here. I didn't talk about it, but these flags come in very handy, and I would recommend that you pick them up. At the box stores and the hardware stores, they're only a couple dollars for you get a pack of 10. So again, I'm going to reach in here. I'm going to pull this up, lift it up, unscrew this. Let's take a look at this filter. I know these filters are clogged because they should come right out. Look at that. Woo. So there's no way that water's going to go through that right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this. Actually, with this one, this is the last sprinkler on the line, and I actually would recommend doing it every single time. And so what I'm going to do now is we're going to step back. I can see mud in there. We're going to blow this line out, because if you don't blow the line out, it can be clogged again. So you don't want to clean these out and turn around and have them get clogged again. So I'm going to step back and we're going to blow this out. You can see how black and dirty the water is. So hopefully you were able to see the mud that literally came out of that line. I would recommend that you do that for every single one. In fact, I will go back and do it for this other one as well. In this situation, I can tell the way that this homeowner has this laid out, that these are the last on the line. Typically, the last sprinkler heads on your line is where the most debris collects. You'll get it on every one of them, but it'll be the most severe on the last couple of them. And that's what we had here. So again, that's the filter. So I'm going to replace it and put a new one in. Okay. Okay, let's step back and see what it looks like now. Okay, as you can see, both of these sprinkler heads need to be brought up because they're striking the grass, which we're going to do that in another video here shortly. So, but you can see they both now are putting out a fair amount of water.